welcome to the Rancho, and one of my passions in life, the restoration of vintage audio, stereo, AM, FM receivers, and high fidelity receivers, starting in the 50s through the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. What we call the golden age of vintage audio. And for the last 8+ years on my channel, this has been a backbone staple of the content that people have enjoyed, because we know that the way that things are made today compared to the way they used to be made. And we know we've lost a little something in the translation. Yes, we may be a little more gain in terms of efficiency, in terms of sound, but do we really have a better product overall? And well, does it have the beauty, the form, and the function that is so essential for life today? Imagine if Apple, for example, made just a watch that was a square black box with phosphorescent numbers on it. You think that that would fly in the world today? Well, in the world of vintage audio today, we have black plastic boxes that are basically junk with very light insides, and well, you might as well take them direct to the junkyard. A few years of running them with their, well, I want to say their fugly faces on them, well, it's just not for me. This, however, is the glory day when vintage audio companies, besides packaging more power, more sound, would really concentrate on the artistic beauty of the way the silver faces would look. And none of them exemplified that more than, well, the line of Fishers from the early 1960s, Avery Fishers Corporation, Avery Fisher Music Hall in New York City was named after him, but with walnut cases that themselves are $500 a piece for originals. We're looking at units here that can cost upwards of over $2,000. So really cool vintage stuff. And I'm going to show you a few of the more noteworthy ones of my collection here. And I also have another wall, a mini wall here with some amplifiers and well, I think the best tuner that was ever made. So let's get to it. I mean, you look at the beauty of the brushed front on this Fisher, made in New York in the early 1960s, and look at the case for it. The walnut cases, and that's of course my favorite unit, the 800B, the legendary, that used an AM station and an FM station. Tune in the AM on the left and the FM on the left dial, the AM on the right, and you would have synthesized stereo. They're very, very cool. And FM, AM stereo, a real rarity before they figured out how to put two channels on broadcast stereo, that you could have a left channel and a right channel. Sony, which I think is magnificent in terms of the build quality, and their whole what is this, the STR line from the 1970s, late 60s and 70s is tremendous. We know Pioneer really has become and continues to be a household name in terms of stereophonic. And the reason I've collected a lot of these is you can see that these fronts, the faces, are in magnificent shape. And if you're going to get involved with, which I hope you do, a beautiful piece of vintage equipment, I hope that you'll take the time to find ones that are scratch-free and are going to maintain their value and become more valuable going forward. Here's another Fisher, the 500B with the signature dove with a note in the mouth there, which still continues today. Fisher, another beautiful case. We have a classic tube, the ER420 from Pioneer circa late 1960s. And another legendary, the one with reverb, one of the first ones, the Pioneer SX, the SX9000 here, which is an amazing unit, still waiting restoration. Let's take a second to just look over here. We have a Marantz quadraphonic sound, and in the 1970s, Well, quadraphonic or four channels was supposed to be the deal. You would put speakers in front of you, speakers behind, and you would have wraparound sound. Well, it never really caught on, but a very cool unit. This is the KT815 here, which I think is the greatest tuner that was ever made, a product of Kenwood Corporation, and pretty doggone amazing. We've got a Dynaco out of Philadelphia in the 1970s, 60s. What a beautiful unit this is, and very sought after today. These Dynaco units. Just, I think this is the what is this? The Dynakit Stereo 70, and another one, the legendary H.H. Scott. And I think this one is the 222B here, which has been lovingly restored. This is also the one that one of the capacitors blew up on me. And it was a good thing I had safety glasses on, because I thought it was reformulated and ready to go, and it just exploded on me and really created a mess. You can see that video on the channel. So going up here, probably the beast of the beast of the beast, the Kenwood 9 Model GX. And this thing even has a sleep timer on it. Look at that. Awaiting restoration here. This thing probably weighs a good 70 pounds, no kidding. I have so much weight on this wall that I put jack stands underneath of it just in case. It's another nice Kenwood here, the model KT5300 tuner. And I think dedicated tuners really do a nicer job as opposed to integrated. Here's a classic Lafayette LT81 tube tuner. Let's get that focused a little bit, and that's really cool. Most of these have restoration videos that you can see, and if you are new to the channel, please take a minute to hit the subscribe button, bell for all notifications, and check out the playlist for vintage audio. Here is the KM61 tuner by Fisher, another beautiful one. Here we have one of my favorites, which is the Harman Kardon, which is a tremendous name. Continues today in audio, and a wonderful company, again, founded in New York. Over here we have one of my favorites, the QX949 by Pioneer, and it has something that you can balance the sound at. It's another quadraphonic unit. And you can imagine yourself in the middle of the sound, and you can do the adjustment on the speakers so that you can balance the sound so you really feel like you have this surround sound. There's great videos on the restoration of that too. Over here we have one of the first restoration on my channel, a kind of an obscure Hampton tube tuner here. It was the first one I ever undertook, even doing the cabinet restoration. It's a rare product, but it works beautifully, and it looks really cool with the tuner eye on there. You can check that out. Again, the vintage audio list. Here's another Fisher with the beautiful walnut case on it. This is the Fisher 500C. Another beauty awaiting restoration. Over here we have is this one, another Pioneer. This is a Pioneer up here, the SX, I can't quite make out, I don't want to get it wrong, the SX1000TD, which is another beautiful one in a beautiful case there. Nice Pioneer tuner to TX608. You can see the restoration on that. I was going to give that away in a contest, but I forgot to do it, and I want to do that in the future. What a beautiful unit. Another Harman Kardon here from the 1970s, the 330C, and they are beautiful with their green dials. One last Fisher, the Fisher 400 here, which is another beauty, and really one of my coolest older units, one of the early Pioneers that would be shipped back from Vietnam by servicemen. This is the SMQ 300B, which is pretty rare. And you can see this thing is in pretty phenomenal shape, and I'm really proud to have it. And down here we have a Marantz 2252. It's going to be a little difficult to show that. I have a few things. And down below I think I have one more Marantz down there. It kind of escapes me at the moment. Another pride and joy of mine is the Motorola with a walnut cabinet here. One of the rare 3-channel consoles. It had a left channel, a right channel, and a dedicated bass channel in the middle. A pretty amazing unit. I did significant restoration in it. Unfortunately, I damaged the tuner section. I still have to work on that. But what a beautiful, beautiful unit this is. And this is considered the very peak of consoles built in America, because it has a cabinet that was made by Drexel of North Carolina. So what an amazing, amazing unit. And I hope that you agree. It is a really, really super collection, and I really enjoyed doing the restorations. I'm going to close out now, and thank you all for checking out my wall of sound and my wall of what I call the wall of amplitude over there. Once again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Hit the bell for all notifications. I'm constantly doing restoration projects, and we do listening experiences by featuring restored units on what I call the fabled wall of sound here for, well, a unique experience. Put your headphones on or put your earbuds in and really enjoy the vintage sound. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up here. Leave a nice comment down below. What do you think your favorite unit is as you look here? I'm going to leave with mine, tell you something about that, and wish you all a great day. Here it is, my favorite unit, the Pioneer SX780. Not my favorite all-around unit. I would say my Fisher 800B tube unit, but this SX780 is a beast. Thanks again, everyone.